Hello. The purpose of this webinar is to introduce you to significant ecological areas, or SEAs. We'll begin with some background. What is an SEA program? Good question. The SEA program is made of three main parts. The first is goals and policies, and these are set out in the general plan and some area and community plans. Next are SEA boundaries, which are reflected on a policy map and adopted as part of the general plan. Third is the SEA Ordinance, which sets out zoning code regulations for SEAs. Certain development is required to have an approved SEA CUP before they can develop. What is the purpose of the SEAs? First, the SEAs represent the county's cumulative biodiversity, including resources that are rare or unique, or critical to maintaining wildlife. These areas also represent relatively undisturbed habitat types, or serve as linkages. SEAs also implement the county's goals and policies and were first adopted in 1980. These SEAs may be on private land, however, so the SEA program is aimed to balance development and preservation. So let's learn a little more about the SEA boundaries. Here are the updated SEA boundaries as adopted with the general plan update. So why were the boundaries updated? Since 1980, we've learned more about the biology and habitat needs of our SEAs. When they were adopted in 1980, the SEAs were islands, or areas where pristine habitat could be preserved. We now know that connectivity is what keeps a habitat and its inhabitants healthy. So more area is needed to ensure wildlife movement and genetic diversity. Now that the areas are bigger, the necessary buffering to protect those resources are built in. How are the new boundaries developed? Using several methods. It started with the 2000 SCA update study, which evaluated the entire county and used 6 criteria for determining appropriate areas. A number of other resources were also used, including academic literature, expert knowledge, aerial photos, and focused fieldwork. An expert panel also reviewed the study in 2011 and not only agreed with the proposed boundaries, but recommended further expansion as well. Where can I go for more information? The project website should have everything you need to learn more about the SEA boundaries. So let's talk about the SEA Ordinance. What's new regarding the SEA Ordinance? A few things. 1. The SEA Ordinance is now standalone. Before, it was together with the Hillside Management Areas Ordinance. 2. The ordinance applicability is also updated. It depends on several factors. Because the applicability section determines whether a CUP is needed or not, let's look at this further. When does a project need an SEA CUP? First, it depends on the property location. SEAs were recently expanded in the Santa Clarita Valley, Antelope Valley, and then the rest of the county. Check the location to see which planning area this property is located in. Next, it depends on when they filed a complete application. The SEAs were updated in 2011 and 2015 in different parts of the county, so the complete application date is important to note. And third, where is the project in relation to the SEA? Depending on the factors already described, a project may not need a CUP if they have all of their development outside the mapped SEA. Okay, so what's next for the SEA Ordinance update? Wasn't it being updated at some point? Yes, you are right. We are still updating the SEA Ordinance, and there's more work to be done. First, the Board of Supervisors recently directed planning to include certain requirements and exemptions in the ordinance update. 2. There's more community outreach to be done. We want to make sure the ordinance is clear and easy to understand while achieving its goals and balancing development with preservation. This concludes our presentation on SEAs. Thank you.